that's fine.
Okay.
There we go.
Steven's going to start right over here. He's
Okay,
just
here
getting
we
his
go.
mic in.
Tony,
Hi, Stephen.
Ansel, congratulations. It's great to see you again here. Tony, it's like you're having with Scandal and now this movie, this sort of career resurgence. Do you feel that way? And did you read the book, both of you, and talk about your characters compared in the movie compared to the book?
Um, yes, yes, and yeah, it's been a great year, a few years, doing all kinds of new momentum in all different ways for me, work-wise, which has been really exciting. And talk. What was the second part, Stephen? Talk about the characters. I had read the book, and the characters, you know, similar to the book. I'd say that Neil Berger, in developing the book into a screenplay, really um, fleshed out some of the secondary characters even more than what's in the book. So, for example, Andrew, my character, you know, I guess he took a strong point of view on Andrew, where I think you have a lot of compassion and connection to our family, um, which is really useful in telling the story. I think that at least when I saw the movie, I felt very connected to Triss's family, Caleb, and aside from just feeling connected to Ansel. Uh, so yeah, it's quite similar, but Neil's really created a world that is really three-dimensional and wonderful.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I read it after I got cast in the store. I think we all read it. Because when anytime as an actor you have that kind of source material, it's like really helpful. In terms of fleshing out your character. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Tony. The world is really three dimensional. Um, it's impressive because to have this kind of movie, it's the first in a series, so you have to introduce the whole world. You have to introduce all the factions, you have to introduce all the characters, and then you have to tell a story on top of that. So the way that they achieve that is much better than I expected them to have because they did a perfect job.
Is it the same arc then in the first book for you that we see Caleb in
Yeah,
the movie, where he goes
to
and
erudite.
sort of says, "I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
did."
faction before blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he's I didn't realize that this was gonna happen, and he starts having regret, and then what happens
It's very faithful. The
later.
whole movie's very faithful to
Yeah,
the book. Yeah.
they did a perfect job because they cut out things that you don't need, and that way, because if you have too many things going on, then you can't really tell the story and you can't flesh out the right characters. But they cut out some characters, and then maybe they'll flesh them out later. Um, I'm sure some of you guys know who the character is that they cut out, but maybe they'll flesh them out later. Um, and yeah,
Thank you.
Hi, can you tell us who was the best or most natural fighter on set and who was like the clumsiest or had the toughest time?
see,
Like
we're
out of
we're
anyone?
abnegation.
Because we're in abnegation,
Yeah,
so there was no fighting, or
no
very little.
fighting. No fighting in our
Just like
abnegation.
A
any of
little
the
at the end,
other
but
Yeah.
any
we
of the
didn't know
other
what we were doing.
actors?
I'm guessing. I mean, by the looks of him, I'd say Jai. I mean, I wouldn't want to mess with Jai just because naturally he seems like a. And him and Theo, I don't want to mess with. Yeah.
You're coming into an established story, an established franchise, and you are super involved on social media. And so, what has that reception been like from fans? What have you been hearing and receiving?
It's been amazing. I mean, it's like a few months ago I was just I don't know. It's crazy. It's so nice, but that's because of the stories, It's like I was saying, every time I go to one of these screenings, there are people screaming and stuff, and they say, "How does it feel for everyone to be screaming for you?" And I say, "Well, if I was just here as a fan, people wouldn't be turned toward me and screaming. It's not because of me. It's because of the story. People are obsessed with the story. People are obsessed with the other story that I'm a part of, and it's I just am lucky enough to be a part of them."
Tony, you and Ashley have some tough scenes together watching Caleb and Triss leave, move factions. Did you, when you guys were shooting that scene, were you drawing from experiences of like, what would this be like? My own kids leaving me. Like, what was going through your head when you were filming those
Yeah, it
scenes?
was one of the reasons I really connected to this material. I think Veronica's book really resonates both with young adult readers, but adults as well, because I have young daughters. Well, actually, Triss's age, and so the idea of being separated from my kids for life, um, it's your worst nightmare. So, yes, for sure. That was an easy one to think about.
Hi, I'm Cassandra, and I was wondering, in the movie, the dystopian society forces characters into different factions, and characters are forced to conform. So I was wondering, in your life, in this industry or in real life in general, how do people perceive you in a way that isn't true to who you really are?
Is that for
For both of you.
both of you? Well, I'll take that first. I think we all, as people, can relate to the idea of being sort of pigeonholed as one thing, or and we struggle in life to be seen and to be known, to connect with other people, and we're all multifaceted. So the notion of being, one thing, we just naturally chafe against. And certainly in our industry, particularly if you have, I mean, I've experienced having commercial success in one kind of a character, and for years, that's what you do, and you spend a lot of energy kind of trying to branch out or break away, and I've found, career-wise, the most satisfaction in my career, and I think the reason I'm still around is because I've constantly mixed that up and gone, no, 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 I'm not necessarily that guy. There's also this facet, and to explore, to keep it alive, but you kind of have to break the chains of what is familiar. So, but I think it's just such a human thing, which is why one of the reasons Veronica's book and this movie, I think, so resonant.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I right away I'm trying not to only play like a leading man kind of character. That's why like Caleb is awesome for me to play. He's not the leading man, because you can easily be pigeonholed in this industry, but also in life. I think that is actually one nice thing about being an actor, though, is that ideally you're able to play a lot of different characters and be different people all the time. And as human beings, I think we all strive to sort of be divergents.
Hi. I was just wondering, since film is such a collaborative media, how much of a force was Veronica on? Was she on set? Did she give you any insight into your characters?
She, we almost never overlapped. It just like didn't work out that way. I don't know why. But I know that I was just on a press tour with her, so I've heard her answer this question. So I'm gonna sort of answer it for her, I guess. She said a lot that she didn't really want to, put her hands into the pot too much, and you let Neil and the producers do their work. But when we were on our tour, we talked a lot about Caleb and where he goes, and things and that's helpful because you have the person who created him there. So that's awesome.
I got the same impression on set. She was there for a few days when I was there. She was lovely and supportive and really excited to be there. I mean, Veronica's, how old is she's like
25.
she just got out of college, So to her, this whole process was new, and yet you felt very much that she was supportive and very connected to the process as well. Because I've been involved in other things where a novelist will come to set and they feel very much like a visitor, but so she felt really a part of it, but I didn't sense that she was, um, she seemed very humble about it, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Tony, my question is for you. Was it nice reuniting with Ashley Judd all these years after
Mhm.
Kiss the Girls and playing her husband as opposed to a serial killer trying to torture her?
That was fun, actually. Yeah, no, Ashley and I have worked together 3 or 4 times. One of my first movies was the movie she got her SAG card on. Uh, it was called Cuffs with Christian Slater and me, and Ashley, I think, had one line. And then we did Kiss the Girls, and then I directed her in a movie called Someone Like You, a romantic comedy. And then I feel like there was something else. But anyway, so this is great. It's one of the great things I find about our job is you after a number of years you end up working with certain people over and over again, and it's a beautiful thing.
I hope I get to work with Tony again.
Yeah, you will.
Okay, thank you both very much. That's a great way to end. Thank you both very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's fabulous.
Here we go. Hello, hello.